Again, hail that looks like limestone here outside of Hamler. It really is pretty unbelievable. I got to scoop it up one last time here because I don't think I've ever in person seen hail this size. Now that the debris is cleared away and the property is shovel ready, this isn't just the former site of the Hudson homestead, it's the future one. And while crime may be on the rise, Habitat says so is the use of home video monitoring systems. 10 years ago, they didn't sell any. Now they're selling 40, 50 a year.
And the lemur is a prosimian, which means pre-monkey and pre-ape. So that was here on the planet way before the monkeys and apes.
We're waiting for Larry to evolve. You feel compelled to stop and talk to everyone. Everyone is asking us what we've seen, and we ask them what they've seen, and we just want to make sure that everyone is okay. And so far, all we've heard are treatable injuries, no words of fatalities, and it truly is remarkable when you see the depth and gravity of this damage. Back to you.
Yeah, we brought, can you hear us? Are you still with us, Tony?
Yes.
We brought this up much earlier, I think near the 6 o'clock hour. You know, that community is very near and dear to you. You know those people. They're your neighbors. Tell us about that perspective in that this is your town.
It really is, and well, I've been a resident here for 7 years, and my wife, you know, when the storm hit this morning, we grabbed the kids and we went downstairs, and we just feel very fortunate that we are all okay. My wife was actually in tears when I left this morning. She helped drive me as far as she could into town. We couldn't get very far at that point because all the trees were blocking the way. Right now, they've made short work of that. They've taken all the trees out of the road, sawed them up, and hauled them off to the side so the cars can get through, and a lot of people are just driving around taking a look at all that damage. But yeah, it's hard not to get choked up when you see what's happened to this community because it is a part of me, actually. And last year around this time we had flooding, and this year we got hit by tornadoes. So it's been an unlucky couple of years here, but what we've seen today are a lot of the best in people coming through, neighbor helping neighbor, and that's really when a community shows its true colors, Lee.
Thanks, Tony. And our Tony Geftos was there with this story you'll only see right here on Action News tonight. Tony.
This guy is the fourth one to get arrested, Lee, but a detective called him public enemy number 1. As a handcuffed Chad Rivera walked down the second-floor hallway of the safety building, he smiled. Rivera, who's 17, is in police custody. They say he fired at least 11 shots at an officer. It happened yesterday around 3 in the morning near the former Southwick Mall. Officer Shaughnessy tried to pull over a pickup truck. That's when bullets struck the officer's door, windshield, and headrest. Shaughnessy escaped with a minor injury. The suspects, however, did not get far. 20-year-old Martin Chino, 19-year-old Jorge Rojas, and 16-year-old Raul Moya are all facing charges of attempted aggravated murder and felonious assault. Investigators say all three point to Rivera as the trigger man.
Chad, your buddy said you pulled the trigger. You got anything to say about that?
I didn't pull nothing.
Detectives add they found evidence yesterday, including a shotgun, leading them to believe these suspects are involved in other crimes. Police are not saying which, but one high-profile unsolved crime is this robbery. It was at the Key Bank in Sylvania Township. The FBI is investigating and looking for 5 men who wear gloves and masks and carry shotguns.
Did you guys rob the Key Bank?
I didn't rob nothing.
What happened last night? What happened yesterday?
Police tell 13 ABC Rivera ended up in their custody after someone called the Lucas County Sheriff's Office and told them where to find him. Deputies picked up Rivera outside the city limits and arrested him without incident. Both Moya and Rivera are inside the Juvenile Justice Center. Because of the attempted murder charges, prosecutors are required to attempt to try them as adults. Live downtown, Tony Geftos, 13 ABC, Action News. We are inside the Regency Ballroom in the Hyatt in downtown Columbus, and right now we are having people coming to the podium behind us, but we are still waiting to hear from the governor, Ted Strickland. This has been an evening that started off on a high note. We heard from Sherrod Brown, the senator. He came out and said he is proud to be a Democrat, and then shortly thereafter, he introduced Lieutenant Governor Lee Fisher, who conceded the race to Rob Portman a mere hour and a half after the polls closed. And I had a chance to speak with Lieutenant Governor off camera, off of the podium there, and ask him about when we sponsored the Senate debate in Toledo and what had happened, what had transpired between the time when we had that debate and the time tonight, what led to this outcome this evening. And he said simply it was more ads on the television, more people saw those advertisements than saw the actual Senate debate. So he had hoped that people had tuned into our debate and heard more of what he had to say. But tonight, we are still waiting to hear from the governor. The race is extraordinarily tight. Last we heard, 85% of the precincts were reporting in. And right now, 49% Kasich, 47% Strickland. So we are still waiting to hear from Strickland himself, and we will bring that to you as soon as he comes through those curtains behind me. For now, live downtown in Columbus, Tony Geftos, 13 ABC, Action News.
New tonight, cheating on your spouse. As you just saw, it's the stuff of television shows like Desperate Housewives, and now it's the stuff of the internet.
One website cashes in on infidelity by helping married people cheat. 13 ABC's Tony Geftos speaks with the site's founder and has the story behind Ashley Madison.
If you're cheating, Mike gets paid for proof.
Wife tends to come home late from work.
Mike's a private eye. He's been one since 1974.
Not a whole lot's changed, just some of the technology.
Technology which takes us from Toledo to Toronto. This is the home of Ashley Madison. That's not a person, it's a website, a dating service for married people.
Oh, so people can cheat, like, officially?
Even the married ones want to flirt around, eh?
And AshleyMadison.com does not hide what it's selling. The tagline is, "Life is short, have an affair." That aggressive style of marketing has landed Ashley Madison on Ellen.
Stryker, have you seen those billboards I'm talking about?
Good Morning America.
Websites, really successful websites.
And The View.
Why do this?
Now it's our turn.
Why are you doing this?
Noel Biederman is the founder and CEO of Ashley Madison. His answer is simple. He started the site for the dollars.
Tens of millions of dollars. LeBron James dollars.
Those dollars come from Ashley Madison's 5.5 million registered users, plus other websites hosted by Biederman's company, Avid Life Media. Websites including Hot or Not, Cougar Life, and Man Crunch. But the .com entrepreneur will tell you Ashley Madison is his crown jewel.
Most of the people coming to Ashley Madison are coming there because of an absence of sex.
Back to that aggressive marketing. These risque commercials may have caught your eye.
Most of us can recover from a one-night stand with the wrong woman, but not when it's every night for the rest of our lives.
Biederman, who's 38, writes them all. He also explains Ashley Madison was born from market research.
30% of people going to singles dating sites weren't single.
The name itself is even designed to draw in women. Ashley and Madison were the top 2 girls' names in 2000. It might make some women comfortable, but not all of them.
I suppose that it's nice to have a safe venue for that kind of thing, if that's what you're interested in.
It sounds a little bit like a swingers site to me.
So we asked Biederman to explain himself.
Have you ever had anybody like really angry coming at you,
Well,
threats or
the
anything?
anger has come from, appearances like on Tyra Banks.
You've been on these talk shows where you said you're happily married.
I am.
And it makes people wonder, if you go through that line of reasoning, how you stay happily married.
I think one of the ironic benefits of running this company is that I'm talking to people like you all day long about the topic of infidelity, and I guess if anybody should be conscious of what it takes to be successful in a relationship, maybe it's me.
You want people to work out their marriages.
No, I do. Listen, I'm not trying with my marketing to convince anyone to have an affair.
But your tagline is have an affair.
Life is short, have an affair, right? So, but my point is that you just read it and you're a happily married man. Did you just read it and go, oh, you know what? I'm going to do that. Nobody's that pliable. It's just a tagline.
Those 6 words could completely torpedo the rest of your life.
Barb Roos is a pastor at Cedar Creek Church in Perrysburg. Instead of Ashley Madison, Roos recommends marriage counseling. She also says Biederman should consider his site's potentially devastating impact on families.
Those 5.5 million people represent not only those folks at the site, those represent spouses, they represent children, they represent future generations. And so this could be about 20 million people.
The question is, how many people are on Ashley Madison in your neighborhood? We've run into a handful of Canadians familiar with the website. After all, it is headquartered right here in Toronto. But Ashley Madison's #1 market? That's closer to home.
There has never been a better place for us anywhere within Canada, the U.S., any of those other countries I mentioned than Ohio.
That's right, Ohio. It is neck and neck with Texas as the fastest growing market for Ashley Madison, even with limited advertising. Michigan racks up nearly 143,000 users. Ohio has more than 176,000.
They probably either married the wrong person or they shouldn't have been married in the first place.
Biederman calls it a perfect storm of a bad economy and suburban culture, which brings us back to our private eye in Toledo.
They're hooking people up that want to cheat on their spouses and probably to some extent helping facilitate some people that are on the fence to jumping over to the other side.
And while Ashley Madison guarantees discretion online, Mike says there is no way to guarantee he won't catch you cheating in the flesh. In Toledo, Tony Geftos, 13 ABC, Action News.
Well, miserable. Does that sum up Toledo? Forbes magazine thinks so. So it put out a list of the most miserable cities with a population above 245,000. And Toledo clocks in at number 15. 13 ABC's Tony Geftos took a trek around town to see just how miserable it gets in T-Town. Tony?
Sasha, I'll tell you what people are saying. They're telling me if you don't live in the Glass City, don't cast any stones. This just in, Toledo has made the Forbes list of most miserable cities. Most miserable? That doesn't seem right. How about gravity slashers at the Lucas County Arena? Yeah, nothing says miserable like guys on motocross bikes having fun. How about the animation exhibit featuring Cartoon Network at the Imagination Station? You guys are miserable, right? No! Is it miserable here?
Oh yeah, it's just killing me. It's just killing me.
Forbes does admit the cost of living is cheap here, 15% below the national average. But the magazine points to those who have lived here and left. That should mean all the miserable people are gone, right? But don't pack up your trunk and leave just yet. Here's another list for you. The Toledo Zoo is one of the top 10 in the country. So you're not miserable here?
Love it. And I'm a Wolverine, and I love it here.
Well, those are strong words.
Yeah, very happy. Great place to raise a family.
You drove a little over an hour to come to Toledo to not be miserable.
Yes, we did.
How's it working out?
And we're having a great time.
Hey, Jamie Farr's from Toledo. He looks miserable. Okay, welcome to Tony Paco's at the Park. Here are your hot dogs, gentlemen. There you go, dig in. How does that taste? Are you guys feeling miserable? I guess not. Forbes based this list on commute times, taxes, crime statistics, the weather, but I don't know. I know I'm not alone when I say maybe Forbes should look closer. Number 1 on the list was Cleveland. Number 4 was Detroit. But also in the top 20, we had Chicago, New York, and Miami. Reporting live from the world-renowned Toledo Museum of Art Glass Pavilion. Tony Geftos, 13 ABC, Action News.
New video tonight you really have to see to believe. The local woman who attacked a McDonald's drive-thru worker made national headlines. And tonight, you'll see the attack for yourself. Our Tony Geftos live in Toledo. Tony, it's hard to imagine this is all over a case of a woman ordering chicken McNuggets. Unbelievable.
That woman wanted nuggets, Lee, from that McDonald's, but it was serving breakfast. Here's how she reacted. A punch in the mouth. Another. Then finally shattering the glass of the drive-thru window. It happened around 6 a.m. New Year's Day at the East Side McDonald's. That's at the corner of Main and Front. This surveillance video, released today, captures the assault as it unfolds. The woman in the car is Melody Duchesne, who was 24 at the time. As the story goes, Duchesne wanted chicken McNuggets, but the restaurant was only serving breakfast. This video does not have sound, but it appears Duchesne and the employee verbally argue before it escalates. Duchesne gets out of her car while another worker tries to close the window. She then punches that woman in the face and continues yelling. At one point, Duchesne even appears to lift her leg to climb in. And when the first woman returns, Duchesne hits her too. That woman grabs a hold of Duchesne's hair, but lets go. It then takes 3 McDonald's employees to slide the window closed while Duchesne continues to try to keep it open. She then starts ramming her elbow against the glass, goes back into her car, and emerges to throw a bottle through the window. Then Duchesne busts another hole and drives off. Last month, Melody Duchesne got 60 days behind bars and 3 years probation. She also has to pay McDonald's more than $1,500 for the damages. Duchesne apologized to the court. Her attorney says Duchesne was drinking that night and suffers from panic attacks. They apparently led up to this moment when an act of vandalism made national news. After all of that, employees here kept their cool and handed food through the window to the next customer. Live in Toledo, Tony Geftos, 13 ABC Action News.